This is Kimberley Nelson, president of Bike Calgary. We're excited because today's the start of Winter Cycle Palooza. Is that what we're calling this?
It's Winter Palooza.
Winter Palooza.
And last night was the kickoff. We had a photo booth at the Peace Bridge, of course.
Fantastic.
And it was amazing. We actually had students that were biking home from school that stopped by, and there were about 20 of them that just took over for a little bit. Wow. It was amazing.
Wow.
So we had people biking home on their way from work to wherever they needed to go, stop by, had some hot chocolate. It was amazing.
You know, and the great thing about our weather here, it changes so frequently. Today, 11 degrees. Tomorrow, another 10, 11 degrees. And tomorrow at Eau Claire, you're also having a big kickoff for Winter Bike to Calgary. Or, Winter Bike to Work Day, rather.
Yeah, so all around the world, tomorrow is International Winter Bike to Work Day. And so we, Bike Calgary, are hosting a breakfast in the morning and just celebrating the fact that people are commuting every day, all throughout the winter, and trying to encourage some people who maybe wouldn't consider biking in the winter to come out, try it, see what it's like. And with the weather like this, why wouldn't you?
Is cycling as big of an issue in Montreal? Because I mean,
it's not an issue. Well, you know, we had a few years of, like, let's say, not much dynamism in Montreal, and we were outshadowed by Quebec City, where actually Quebec City like rejuvenated itself a bit by the arts and festivals, because the mayor went to, you know, Richard Florida is a guy who did a lot of conferences, and he was talking about the importance to bring culture in the city, and so Quebec City did that, and it completely changed their brand. And Montreal was a bit and the only thing that really made a change was that rental bike thing, you know. So it's called Big C in Montreal. It's everywhere now. I saw it in South Beach, in New York,
is it private?
In Paris. No, you pay with you go with your credit card, and you can rent a car.
Though. It's not
in Montreal. It is private. The city was involved a lot at the beginning, and now I think it's private, or it's the opposite. I'm sorry, I don't know about that, but I know that it is a huge change in the city life, and so you should get that.
Could we have that here in Calgary?
Well, they're looking at it. It's on the Calgary Bicycle Program list. They've got 50 objectives to meet, and eventually a bike share is one of them, but it wouldn't be city run. It would almost be the same partnership as Car2Go, where the infrastructure is maybe facilitated by the city, they provide space for it, but it's a private partner that would come in.
It's the best thing that happened to Montreal in the last 10 years. And it's just changed the dynamics right away, because you can see it, and people are healthier, and and when you bike in the city, you look at the city differently than when you drive. So, and you really notice your environment, you can stop, it's a more human pace, so it really has a big impact.
We have pushback here, though. Everybody's pushing back. You know, why is that, Kevin?
Well, I think that part of it has to do with the fact that the perception by some, there's two perceptions here. I don't think that people are seeing Calgary as a bike city. I think that I think that when we talked about this a little bit with infrastructure, it's quite frankly, it's very tough to bike here. We're pocketed out in a number of different areas. So I think that makes it really difficult for some people to see that perception.
Yeah.
And I think that there has been an issue, offensive tweets or not, there were issues with the apps, with the cost of the project, and a budget of $595,000, particularly this week when there has been conversations about overtime and council. I think that people in Calgary just want to see this done in a reasonable manner, and they're just wanting to see sort of an end goal, and wanting to see some sort of, what is the end goal here? With this project, I think that there's still some question around that, and the offensive tweets or not, there's still some questions around that, I think.
Definitely. Bike Calgary has been advocating for a safe project that looks good, that's appealing to the masses, because when you look at the surveys that are done in the city of Calgary, 70% of people want to ride more, but they don't feel safe. So if you're interested but concerned, giving people that aesthetically pleasing place to ride, it's really going to get them out and get them on their bikes. Yeah. So I agree, we want to do it as cheaply as possible, but if you're, if you're compromising safety or the aesthetics of it, then you're not going to have the same end result.
Okay. The other thing that, and I think maybe Michael can also comment to this as well, is there has been a long conversation in this city about whether if a bike is a pedestrian or is actually, if they're on the road, you treat them as a car. And I think there's been a lot of confusion around
What is it in Montreal? Do they consider your cyclists to be
we're a bit
pedestrian?
rebels in Montreal. The people don't respect the code so much, you know. They wear the helmets. It's mandatory. You cannot ride a bike if you don't have a helmet. But let's say the behavior could be improved. But they're better than the cars, because the car drivers in Montreal, I love Montreal, but the car drivers, they don't have a lot of courteous attitude. But does it answer your question? I'm trying not to get. I don't want to make enemies anywhere.
Okay, in Montreal, if you're a cyclist, do they sort of do they treat themselves as like a pedestrian, or do they go in the middle of the road as if they're a car?
No, more like a car. More like a car.
Yeah.
Or at least moving in the right direction, in your opinion.
Definitely. We've seen from the approval of the bike plan back in 2011, we hired a cycling coordinator with Tom Hibner
That's
coming
right.
into the city. Since then, we've put in quite a few on-street bike, well, not we, but the city has put in all kinds of bike infrastructure on street. So you see things. Downtown is getting all of the focus, but they're going in all over the place. Sun Mills Drive out in the, I don't even know where that is,
Yeah.
but it has a bike lane.
To do some exploring. Kimberley Nelson, president of Bike Calgary. So great to have you here on our panel this morning as well.